We talk a lot about who's succeeding and achieving new career moves and securing board appointments, but I think it's important to focus on for just a moment on maybe one of the more negative aspects. Who are not succeeding, who are not getting traction, who are not getting into the market and securing that new role. What is going wrong for those particular individuals? I can almost guarantee to the absolute T that when you look at people who are not securing new employment, can't execute a career change, struggling to secure maybe their first board seat, I can guarantee that at the heart of that issue will be a lack of activity. There will be a lack of activity, outbound activity, talking to the right people. Now, there might be some activity, but it's usually the wrong activity. So the wrong activity is what I call passive job seeker activity. So that might be you see a job ad, you put in an application, you don't bother to call anyone before you send out the application, you don't bother to tailor the CV very much or the cover letter very much. You're kind of just going through the motions. Now, that is not going to deliver results. And the second key component is you'll see that the individual has done that type of activity for a long, long time, maybe 3, 6, 12 months, and they haven't modified their strategy, even though they know that that's not delivering results. So when you're doing something and it's not working, if you're not getting job interviews, if you're not getting traction, if you're not getting callbacks, what you're doing is fundamentally wrong. So you've got to stop and start again and rethink the whole approach to market. The other thing that people are doing wrong, in my experience, is they kind of start to lose their confidence, which is no fault of their own, but they lose the confidence and then the activity becomes even slower or less than before. And, it becomes very, very superficial. And when you look at the numbers, you'll often analyze, well, how many approaches did you make in a year? And they'll come up with this wonderful list and it'll say, well, look, I made 40 approaches this year. Well, there's 365 days in the year. There's a lot more activity that could have occurred that could have got you the momentum, could have got you the traction. The number one thing you've got to monitor when you're going about job searches or looking for new opportunities is, are you getting in for meaningful meetings with key decision makers? That is the number one litmus test, if you like, about your whole strategy. Are you getting in front of people? And when you analyze that number, how many in-person meetings have you actually had with a key decision maker? You'll find that number's quite low. But you've got to get that number up to a reasonable level if you've got any hope of securing offers or opportunities to join organisations and the like. So you've really got to be frank and honest with yourself. Sometimes you need someone to tell you you're not doing enough activity. But the reality is, if you're not getting results, there's something fundamentally going wrong. And by results, I mean you're not just sending out applications, you're actually getting in for meaningful interviews. Then the final bit of the equation might be you are getting in for interviews, but you're not getting a job offer. That could mean you're not interviewing particularly well, and then you need to zero in on that piece of the equation. What's not going well for you in that process? Are you saying something wrong? Are you not conveying your experience in the right way? Are you coming second? How come you're coming second in the recruitment process? So you've got to, zero in on what's working and what's not working. Be honest with yourself. Do some analysis. Look at how many approaches you've done. Look at how many meetings you've had, how many interviews you've had, how many callbacks you've had, are the headhunters relating to you. You've got to be really frank and honest, and whatever is happening, if it's not working for you, you've got to stop and recalibrate. You might have to change the approach completely and really sort of take stock of where you're at.